You sound.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, you sound good on our end. So,
all right, you guys sound fine on me too. I like the background too. Did you guys go out and make that just for me?
we did, and I don't know. I don't know if they do this, but it's like, I mean, like, does HalfWheel do anything like this for you, or how does that work? Yeah, exactly.
Usually they make fun of me and mock me on HalfWheel.
I know, it's great. I should have put the HalfWheel logo on the background and just like, hey, I'm a new member of HalfWheel.
That'd have been awesome.
Yeah.
And then I could have put a little thing behind me and said, I'm the other tattooed guy. There's,
you know what? That's
Pete. And
that's what I love about. I think I said this before. We had a discussion. Wow, let's go. I don't even want to say interview anymore because it's not really interview. It's more just discussion, right? So we had a discussion.
Just the boys. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
With Matt Booth not too long ago, and it was like I really like and enjoy the guys who are tatted up in the industry. I don't know why, and it's not just because someone has tattoos. And I'm not saying if you don't have tattoos that you're a fuddy-duddy,
right?
But it's just like there's some sort of weird connection to the tattoo guys that I don't know.
You know, dude, I've been doing this for so long that back in '96 when I first met Pete, the reason why we became friends is because we were at the trade show in Cincinnati in '96, and I saw him walking, and he had a full sleeve at that time already, and I just had like a couple that were visible, but he kind of, we're like, hey, what's up? You know, you from LA? I'm from, oh yeah. So we became fast friends. But back then we were like the only two guys that had any visible tattoo showing. Now it's like you go into every restaurant in America and every chef is like fully tatted and got, you know, everybody looks like they just came off a SoundCloud or something with the face tattoo. Right? Now, you know what I mean? Now it's more anti-establishment to not be tattooed.
Oh, it's totally that way. Like the industry that I work in full time, which is like commercial audio video. When I first started, and it was littered with a bunch of old crusty dudes. And now it's guys my age, even younger than my age, mohawks, tattoos, these guys who are audio engineers, you know, for a living. It's what they do, production. And I think my boss feels, you know, he's 62 and he's just like
full sleeves, neck, whole bit,
like,
right?
no, for me, it's like I'm tatted up and he's the guy who's been in the industry for a long time is like, this is the way that it's morphed. You should have seen this coming. You should have seen this coming. This is what was going to happen.
You see, eventually, dudes, you and I will be that 62-year-old guy.
100%. Yep.
And we'll be like tatted up and who knows? I don't know.
You know what's what, and honestly, who knows what the next thing is? Maybe not being tatted up will be cool.
I know it.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, the next trend in 20 years is people changing the color of their skin to like pinks, purples, all sorts of stupid shit like that. There's going to be people that are going to change the color of their skin. You watch.
Like skin dye or whatever. Did you hear this? Did someone say this in like some research report that you were like, okay, I'm gonna.
No, I just feel like it's.
I think this already happened though. Like it was called Michael Jackson, like 20 years ago.
Oh shit! Right? Yeah,
yeah. I think we've already been there.
Yeah,
I just remember. But wasn't there like the old story about like the only people that got tattoos back in the day were sailors? Yeah. And it's like. Yeah.
And then the other stigma was they always tell you, okay, you know, don't have anything below the sleeve or above the neckline, right?
Oh yeah.
Because if you go in front of a judge or whatever bullshit, so like that immediately prompted me to go out and like get my hands done, and I'm like, okay, now I'm in.
See, that's so John. So I don't have my hands done, and I've wanted to get them done. Like I've wanted to do like the knuckle tattoos, and but it's more my wife. But I also think like in the industry I work in, they're not as I would say forgiving of those things quite yet, but I think we're getting there. It's like I've wanted to go and I just have this, you know, like right here at that mark. So when I wear long sleeves, you can't see it.
Right.
I want to go past that. I want to do the hands. I've always wanted to do the hands so bad.
I'm actually coincidentally on Tuesday, I have an appointment with my artist to do more work on my left hand.
Yes.
So we're going to, it's fun, man. It's, you know what it is? It's like, for me, it was like, okay, you know, as soon as I decided I'm never going to work a corporate job again, like back then, I literally went to my closet, got all the neckties, had a bunch of cheap, ugly ass neckties, and I threw them out, Goodwill, whatever. And then once I got doing this, you know, I was like, okay, now I'm going to like fully commit, and I did my hands because I've wanted to do them for a while. And I'm like, all right, good. I'll never have a desk job. So
yeah,
it's, you know, I'm pushing all my chips in and let's go.
Well, I mean, that panned out for you. I want to do the same thing. find me that non-desk job. And
as a total 180, you should just get a necktie tattoo.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the only reason I'm like fully covered because I've got my chest, my stomach, and my part of my back. But I made an agreement with my wife years ago. I said, okay, I'm good. And then she gave me a little leeway on the hands because I put like our daughter's name and then her name. And now I finally convinced her. I said, I want to add something else. She's like, what hand? I said, your hand, the left hand, right? This one, right? And I told her what it was going to be. And then she was like, okay. You know what I mean? So I kind of got the hall pass on it. So
yeah. Well, what's
I'm excited,
man? What
I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you.
What do you mean you can't tell me? You literally went through that whole fucking shit.
I'll share it on Instagram on Tuesday or something. But yeah, I got the design in mind, and
that's awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing my artist because I haven't really seen him since. Oh man, it's been about 3 years, something like that.
That's a long time. Yeah, I haven't seen mine for a little over a year, and he's reached out to me multiple times, and I'm like, I'm not ready at the point to get what I want done yet. I'm getting close though. I probably will in the next few months, but
it's fun. I don't see how people get a tattoo. You know,
it's an addiction. It's so crazy. Once I got my first one, I'm like, yep, let's keep on rolling.
Yeah, 100%.
So much fun. And then the creativity around it too. Like for me, it's all like artist, not all of it, but a lot of it is artist discretion. Like I pick people I know I can trust to do things. Like they understand the curvature of skin and muscle and all that.
Have you used the same guy the whole time? Basically?
No, I've used only 2 guys though. Have done all of mine. So one guy I would have definitely kept using, but he moved to California, so impossible. But I found another guy who was local who's done an amazing job, and I've been with him ever since. So it's only 2. But yeah, I haven't like sporadically, I haven't gone out to like multiple people. So I try to keep a similar theme. It's all black and white. I don't have any color on me or anything like that. But yeah, I'm itching to continue on getting both of my sleeves completely done. And then I'm thinking about moving back into the chest area and then even into the back. So
yeah, the back, I have a small back piece in my upper back, but it's like, that's the one that I forget I even have, because who looks at their back? That's why I love, true. That's why it's so cool to have your hands done, because you're constantly looking at your hands and you can go, yeah, I like that. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but yeah, I like to be able to see it and appreciate it. And it is art. So
I dig it. Hey, so I want to thank you. This is our episode 200. So and you were in episode 100, which is crazy.
Oh, wow. I'll see you at 300.
I know. You guys like, hey, we'll see you again at 300.
Yeah,
This is going to be the interval. And you know what sucks about that is like, there's 52 weeks in a year. We usually record 50 episodes in a year because we take 2 weeks off because we need a break every once in a while.
Of course.
And I go, fuck, we haven't talked to John in like 2 years on the podcast.
Has it been that long?
Dude, yeah.
We text though. I mean, I still keep in touch with you guys.
Yeah. And so that's nice. But like on the podcast, it's like, well, shit, what are we doing? It's been like 2 years, but then like, you just think about how
flew by,
fast
dude. It flew by. It's just, I mean, 2020 was kind of a mulligan for everybody, right? But I mean, it's weird because like there was like this switch that just went off, and it's like, okay, everybody's back to normal. Let's go. And you know what I mean? It's
100%.
like, what? It was so weird.
It's really freaky. I was at a cigar lounge yesterday, and they're like, hey, we've got like 4 events coming up, and here's the 4 that we have coming up, and we got people. And I was like, oh wait, you're doing events again? They're like, yeah. And I was like, well, yeah. Hey, do you remember for an entire year and a half you weren't, or a year, or whatever, a little over a year?
I know.
Like, oh yeah, no, we're doing events again. I'm like, shit.
It wasn't, but my point was, it wasn't a gradual evolution. It was like overnight.
It's a flip of switch.
Right. And I was just like, ooh, huh? So I'm like, it's crazy, man.
Are you going to PCA this year?
I am. I'm looking very much forward to going to PCA this year. Yeah, it's not doing the show last year, and literally like the entire, what was it, like March through August, I was working from my house. Right. And so I'd smoke cigars outside in the yard and the heat and whatever, and I'd be on Zoom calls every day with the guys. And it's just going to be nice to have everybody back together and just get the band back together under one roof. I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. You know what I'm excited for?
What?
This new Las Calaveras. So I want to talk about it.
It's gone.
I know. I cannot believe. Well, here's the thing. I almost just said I can't believe you sold out of it, but I can believe you sold out of it already. So
I felt like Ticketmaster with a Stones concert or something. It was that fast. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, so we announced it at 9:30 a.m. Central Time yesterday, which was Wednesday. Yeah. And truth be told, probably by 1:30 it was sold out. By 2:30, when we said we got to do something, we had already oversold it. So in realistic terms, it was sold out in 4 hours. So now we have to go back, which is what we just were on a Zoom call about, every guy has to kind of slice and dice and do a little pruning in their area.
Right.
And if you had told me that because we upped production from last year. Last year was 72,000 cigars. This year,
that's what I was wondering is what production
close to 100,000.
like.
It's like close to 100,000 cigars.
Holy shit!
In 4 hours. I know, right? It's I know.
I always say it every year. I go, it's to me, for me personally, it's the most anticipated release of the year. For me personally, I got the goddamn fucking tattoo on my arm. It better be.
You do? Oh, that's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah,
your guy does good work, man. I like that.
It's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah.
And it's so like for me, this is like the thing that I look forward to in the cigar industry every year. And I know that sounds corny, but it's just true. It's like it's part of that lineup that is continuing on over a period of time that I'm on the train. Like I'm aboard.
I appreciate that.
So it's wild to me that within a matter of hours, it's just gone.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny because Tuesday when we were on our Zoom call, we said, okay, here's the timeline, guys. This is when this is going to go out. You'll have the sell sheet. And then at 9:30, as soon as HalfWheel posts the story, you can go ahead and start selling. And so we were just kind of talking and like, everybody's kind of like, okay, how long do you think it'll take to sell it out? Because last year during the pandemic, we didn't know what to expect. And we had cut back production of 72,000 cigars and we sold it out in like 2.5 days. And we were like, wow, how did that happen? So considering 2.5 days to sell that, this year I thought, okay, maybe by Monday we'll be sold out. Let's give it, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then by Monday. I had no idea. It was gonna be like 4 hours later. We'd be like, okay, call it. It's done. Yeah, man.
So what do you think is a combination of? Is it perfect timing? Like we just said, everything kind of turned on like a switch too. So I think there's maybe a timing element to it. I think there's also the anticipation element of it, right? With 2020 being just a weird, strange year. And I know people are looking, it's a weird thing. So we talked about this before and I'm so guilty of this, even though I hate it sometimes, where I'm like, I'm always looking for the new thing, but I haven't smoked all the other old things either. So it's like those old things are technically new things to me.
Correct.
But like with this, it's like there's such anticipation around it. I feel like the timing was perfect. There was that I don't know.
You could look at it both ways because, up until Calaveras, we had already had, I'm counting 1, 2, 5, 6 LEs.
Yep.
In addition to, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, well, we really kind of gone to the well once too often. It's just going to bite us in the back when we go to launch Las Calaveras, because we had Juarez shots. We had, what did we have? We had Le Creme Bellicoso Fino, JR's 50th anniversary, the Mil Dias Escogidos. We had the TAA. We had the Aguilas, which is going to be shipping next week. So it's like, we've been pretty active in a dormant year. And so we're kind of going, man, I don't know if the market will bear all this. And then 4 hours later, those sold out 100,000 cigars. You're just kind of going, how the fuck did that happen?
So wild.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I wish I knew.
So do we think increase in, was that the last phone call you were on, was increase in production or?
No. We did not increase the production. We stuck to the script.
This is it.
This is it. We had literally yesterday by 2:30, we got it on a quick conference call and we said, okay, we got to let the guys know that stop. Time out.
Done.
We did, looked at the numbers. We're like, oh man, we are way over. So we got to make a decision.
Fucking wild.
We made that decision that, okay, that's it. So now we're just going to cut it off. And
somebody's not getting their boxes.
I did a little quick video. So thanks for helping us sell it out. You guys appreciate your support. And then that was it, man. Stick a fork in it and it's on to the next one.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So poor people that were like that kid that was picked last at the kickball game. Like, sorry, Tommy, we already got a full team, man.
No, it won't be like that. We're gonna try to spread it out so it's not too much of a butt hurt. So
you could always do you could do what they do in bourbon, just second market that stuff. Have one shop, resell it to another. Oh, you want this? All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm already as soon as yesterday was over, I wasn't even having the chance to be giddy about it. I was like, all right, okay, Wednesday, I've got to get that release out for the PCA exclusive. And then what's the timing going to be on the PCA release? When are we going to start teasing that? I'm already thinking post show. I'm almost at the point where I'm thinking post show now, but we still have the trade show to deal with. So there's a lot of logistics for that one too.
Yeah.
We really didn't have a lot of time to celebrate, selling that out that quickly. It was just like, okay, dishes are done. Got to cook
on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild. And that is thing. That's one thing that I would give you full kudos for too, even in 2020, is like remaining active and continuing production and marketing around the production, where a lot of people, I think, were, and this is this is no fault to anybody, like playing it safe without understanding what's going to happen. It just seemed like Crown Heads was like, hey, we're all in. Like, this is, we're continuing like this. There's no stoppage. There's no slowdown. We're going to keep going.
The whole mantra that I kept feeding to the guys was like, all gas, no brake. I mean, okay, we did this. Great. Take a deep breath, on to the next. Keep your foot on the pedal. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, we're having a pretty good year this year. And, but I'm like, okay, don't relax. Don't get soft. Just keep on, on, full court press the whole time. Go, 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 go. And I mean, we're not doing anything different this year or last year than we've done for the previous 8 years. It's just that maybe now the audience is a little bit broader, and maybe the brand's a little more recognized. And so now people are kind of catching up. I think that's it. But I mean, I haven't really done anything differently than I've been doing since really like 2015, when I had like different LE drops, like Mule Kick, those kind of annual things. I mean, there's still the same script. There's just more people reading it now.
So you're going to do another Mule Kick this year?
No, that's where it becomes interesting, because we're kind of handcuffed a little bit by factories.
Right.
The perfect storm with Tabacalera La Alianza, which is, Ernie's factory, is, he had cut back during COVID. Then they're just getting up and running. And then bam, you get Cigar of the Year from that magazine. And it was like,
all hands on deck, right?
Yeah. So now all of a sudden you actually go from, everything's like kind of the calm water. So like, boom, you're on back order for 1 million cigars overnight. Literally, that's like one of the numbers. And so that made a dent. So I'm like, fuck, I can't do this. I can't do that. We won't see this. We won't see that. I mean, just regular production stuff that we get from them, like Headley Grange. I mean, or Four Kicks Maduro. We haven't had that since 2000, and it could be early 19. We haven't seen those brands. I mean, I'm taking them out of the booklets, out of the price list, because we're not even trying to sell them, because people want to order them and I don't know when they're going to be back. So, and that's all because of factory constrictions.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. How's everything? Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to ask that question yet, because I still want to talk about the Las Calaveras. The blend itself, obviously something a bit different. Ecuadorian Sumatra, right, is the wrapper type on this one? Correct. Which
is brand new for not only Las Calaveras, but in working with the Garcia family at my father's cigars. We've never done anything other than Habano variations, Rosado, Escudo, whatever, or we've also done broadleaf with them, but never Sumatra. And so this was a first for us in that aspect. And there's also a first in the brand this year, in that when we always do a sampler exclusive size, you get one of each of the Vitolas, plus it's always been a torpedo. This year I changed it to like a Petite Lancero. It's a 6.5 by 40 with a little pigtail cap on it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, a lot of people missed that one. They focused on the wrapper and they missed the actual sampler exclusive size, which is why we oversold the samplers by probably about 1,000, and now we have to cut back 1,000 samplers. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Yeah.
Those samplers are really awesome. So I saw the tasting notes that you had described. Is this one in consideration? You knew I was going to ask this question, by the way.
Yeah.
In consideration through all the other ones, I don't want obviously I'm not asking for a comparison. It's like, hey, how does this rate against the other ones? But just even like subtle differences, and like, what are you proud of on this one? And what is the takeaways from this particular endeavor versus ones in the past?
I really, Sumatra is an interesting wrapper for me, because we've used it with Ernie on Headley Grange and Four Kicks Capa Especial. And we've never used Sumatra with the Garcias. And it's just an interesting comparison, like how the expressions of the same leaf are completely polar opposites. The fun fact on this one is that when we were in 19, when we were reviewing blends for what became the 20, we narrowed it down to 2. And one of them was what became the 2020, and that I went with. And the other runner-up was what became the 21. So I already knew, I was like, man, this thing is so good. And I was thinking, it's Sumatra and it's brand new. It's something we haven't done. It's, that's an interesting angle. So, we've had this one in the hopper for a while. And I said, let's just, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel for this year, I said, let's just go back to that blend. Let's check it out. So we had it redone and smoked it. And in terms of how it stacks up with everything since 14, to me, I'd put it up there with like my personal favorites for whatever it's worth have always been like the 15, the 19, the 16, and I'd put that in the same. I think it boxes with any of those. The 21 does. The rest of them, you know, I think 14 like that becomes like the unicorn, the grail for everybody. But
of course,
to me, in retrospect, I think it was just, you know, it was good, but it wasn't great. And, you know, it is what it is. I thought the 15 was better than the 14. And so did Jaime Garcia, by the way, for the record. It's like, you know, we both thought we had surpassed the 14 when the 15 came out, and people just didn't vibe with it. So you never know, man. Everybody's got their own things. I think the 16 flew under the radar because that's broadleaf. I mean, to me, that broadleaf and Garcia are like synonymous. You know, it's like, who does it better than them?
Right.
And people just kind of slept on that one too. But again, a lot of it's timing of brand recognition and just kind of like your audience broadens a little bit. So, but I have high hopes for this one. I think it looks beautiful because the wrapper's oscuro and it's dark.
Yeah.
And that yellow band really pops off.
I love that yellow band on the.
I heard the funniest thing on our Zoom call today. I thought it was hysterical. And because we were looking for feedback from everybody, and one guy, Ed, told me, he's like, yeah, he goes, I had one retailer said that the box looks like Tweety Bird died. And I thought that was so funny because of the yellow, and I'm like, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty funny.
I like the pop of the yellow, and yellow is one of my least favorite colors, but I like the way.
Oh man, you look at like the Cuban, like the El Rey del Mundo, when they use that yellow, man, it looks so fucking classic. It looks so good. I've always wanted to do a yellow band.
Well, you're going to run out of options. Well, I guess not, because there's so many variations. Right? You talk about the Pantone scale or whatever. I guess you could do everything.
Tons, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the yellow. I agree with you on that wrapper. Just the contrast looks really cool. Yeah, looks really nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Luis. I think that's awesome, and congratulations for selling that bad boy out.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so.
Congratulations to our sales team, man. They did the legwork, and also obviously to the Garcias, they make a fantastic product. So, you know,
yeah, they do.
Makes our job a little easier.
Hell yes, they do. All right. So now what else are you working on? I'm just kidding.
Dude.
I was like, for me with you, I was like, oh, what's next? Which is not
right. It's like, okay,
ask everybody else.
Like, here, I'm going to pat you on the back. And like, all right, now you did that. What's the, you know, yeah, completely. Nobody remembers like yesterday. They're like, okay, what's the next one? What's the new one? What's the da, 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 da. Yeah, I mean, there are things in the hopper. I mean, next Wednesday, we're going to release the news of our PCA exclusive. So we were one of the original 9 companies that got contacted by PCA, said, hey, would you do an exclusive cigar to boost attendance, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So we signed on, and I didn't want to half-ass it. So I came up with something completely brand new. Like, rather than just do a retread of something,
right, or
like a specific size of something that already exists, I'm like, let's take advantage of the opportunity and you know, try to do something new. So it's completely brand new. I can't give you all the details because PCA wants to announce it on Wednesday, but
it's fine.
I will say it's broadleaf.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I have your attention now, huh?
you have my attention. Well,
right.
For 2 various reasons. One, because at one time and not that long ago, everyone's like, there's no more broadleaf. How do we produce? And then also because you have the special edition La Carims that are out in the Bellicoso, which is one of my all-time favorite cigars. And it was nice to see that being pumped back in. I'm like, hell yes, I'm on board. Like it was like broadleaf was like this. Are we ever going to get it again? To like, it's here again. And I'm like,
yeah, it's like that switch that flipped, right?
Yeah,
very
like, much.
We're in a pandemic. No, we're not. We don't have broadleaf. Yes, we do. It's for us, it's still in short supply. You know, it's we've got a limited amount at this particular factory. But it's enough allocation that we can work with it and do some fun stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, that'll be out on Wednesday, and then I'm going to start planting the seeds for the actual main release that we're going to be doing, which is a brand new, no limited edition, full regular production, and it's coming out of Tabacalera Pichardo, the guys that make Juarez and No Diaz. So I have very high expectations for this one. If I had to describe the flavor profile, which I really hate doing, I tell everybody it smokes like a Mil Diaz on steroids.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound terrible at all.
No, especially if you like taking steroids, you know.
I've once thought about it. As I age a little bit, John, I'm more and more interested in steroids. I feel like it's more beneficial when you're in your 30s than it is when you're in your 20s.
So ostensibly, if you stop smoking it, your balls will shrink.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, well,
so once you buy this product, you have to keep smoking it for a lifetime. Otherwise,
that's great. I have big balls, so it's perfect.
Testicular atrophy.
So I was going to ask you, there was a moment where I started to rewind because I wanted to talk about the Las Calaveras. But I did want to talk about Pichardo because we haven't really had a chance since the last time we talk about like your endeavors with that particular factory. And obviously Juarez being the first thing that came out of there, which I am so beyond in love with as just a fantastic cigar to smoke all the time.
What did I tell you guys back when we were launching Juarez? What did I say? What did I say? You can say, because we're friends.
I kept saying that the Foundation Charter Oak was the value, like the best value cigar on the market. And you said, bullshit, that's not true. It's the Juarez, which I very much agree with you now. Fine. I'm going to eat my words. All right. I'm eating my words. And I have, as you should know, I have smoked far more of the Juarez than I have the Charter Oak Maduro.
Every single time we go to the local lounge, well, I can't really call it local anymore, but every time we go to the same lounge, me and Corey, I swear to you, we always grab a Juarez.
Almost. It's like something and then the Juarez.
Every single sitting.
I told you. I mean, no, I love Nick Melillo. He's like, we're compadres, but I just felt in my heart that this cigar was like, let's put it this way. I'm not going to say my cigar is better than Nick's because I respect him. I could just say it boxes with Charter Oak. Let's just put it that way. We could put them in the same ring and you could, user, or is it mileage may vary based upon the user, but I think equally as good. I'm very happy about Juarez. And the funny thing is that almost didn't even happen. That was almost like project that never got off the ground. But
it was the whole Thompson thing, right? And it was all that.
Oh, it was Germany before that. They wanted an exclusive blend for Germany, and they rejected blend after blend. And it's funny because the same guy that said, "Oh, this is no good," has now like importing it and selling it like crazy in Germany. I'm like, now you realize this is the same cigar that I gave you the exclusive opportunity on, right?
Right.
And it's like he's kind of eating crow a little bit, but
dumb.
It is what it is.
I kind of am too, though, in all honesty, just because I had said and made a bold statement at one time. But I will eat my words because it is legitimately one of my favorite cigars.
It's a great cigar, man.
Maybe it's just the price tag. It's like $6 garbage.
The barrier of entry is low for sure.
Which is insane. Well, that's the other thing I think is hard for people to fathom is that when they smoke it, they go, well, how could it be? That's what I always thought about the Charter Oak Maduro. Was like, well, how could it be? Like, how could you make a cigar like this and sell it for $4.25? It just doesn't make sense because, and it's weird because Chris and I have said it on the podcast. We're like, well, this cigar is easily a $9 cigar. Like, I think the Juarez is an $8 plus cigar, even in some of the shorter Vitolas.
I would agree.
But here you are still selling at $5-6.
Yeah.
Like, I'm making a case for why somebody should raise the price on their cigar and no one raises the price on their cigar.
You got to have something for that segment. So that filled the void there. Right. And so, I mean, fuck, it's just funny how that all worked out. I mean, even in 19, when we launched it, we weren't going to launch at the trade show. We knew we were going to go in there with La Coalición. That was going to be our big thing. And at the 11th hour, I just said, listen, Thompson, they were acquired by CI or something or whatever it was. And I just like, those guys are never going to do anything with this. It's sitting on a pallet in a warehouse somewhere collecting dust. We don't have anything, we have a verbal agreement. They had an 8-month run on it. They didn't do shit with it. Let's take it to the show and open it up. And then they're like, oh, okay. And we didn't have a sales sheet. We didn't have any marketing collateral. We took some samples with us and we just told the guys like, look, cut it, light it, give it to the customer, have them smoke it. And then say, what do you think? And it was like, how many do you want? Here's the price point. They're like, what? And then it just took off. You know what I mean? So
the Charter Oak is $5, whereas this one
is like
$5.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We're at $5.95, I think.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I've Charter Oak Maduro.
But them little shots, man.
He went through a price increase, so they're about on equal footing now.
Even the little one's an hour smoke if you baby it.
I love that Vitola.
I do too. Cool. I do too. That's fun. That's become like an annual for us.
You know why? So my favorite part about that Vitola is I have roughly about a 15-minute drive to hockey and usually have about 20 minutes before I really have to get all my gear on ready to go, which is the perfect time for me to smoke that cigar. So that's the one I always take with me when I'm in the car on my way to hockey. I smoke it and then I finish.
You get to smoke in your car, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, both of them.
I do this for a living, and I don't even get to smoke a cigar in my car.
Oh, is that wife's demands?
It's just a little bit of both. I mean, I'm kind of, whatever, but my daughter is constantly in the car, and like her sense of smell is incredible, and her palate too, even at 5 years of age. It's like, so I don't want to stink everything up.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
I'm respectful of that. So
yeah, I just have some dogs and my wife who has her own vehicle and doesn't give a shit about what I'm doing in mine. So I get the luxury of being able to smoke in the truck, in the car, whenever I want, which is fantastic. But I also, for work, I traveled a ton, pre-pandemic. So it's like, how do I occupy my time on a 5-hour drive to Chicago? Well, I'm going to smoke some cigars. And that's just what I did. But yeah, that Vitola is magic. Just going back.
Thank you. Hockey. Thank you. Yeah, it's. I love it. We sold that thing out real quick this year too.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of like Pichardo, so you just had the recent release, a special edition of the Mil Diaz, which what a Vitola on that sucker. I picked one of those up the other day. Holy smokes! I haven't.
Would you call that a donger?
That is definitely a donger. It's a long, skinny donger.
It's a donger, right? Okay.
I love that Vitola. It's awesome. So do you have, obviously you've already said you have other things in the work, Pichardo. How has that been since inception as far as working with them? Even I'd say outside of the Juarez, but really when you guys officially announced, okay, here's this partnership that we have going forward. Right. So how has that endeavor been? And then what do you anticipate you guys are going to do together in the future?
I mean, it's been fun, man. It's injected the fun back into what I do because, with Ernie, he's got other things going on. It's hard for him to give us a lot of attention. The Garcias, same can be said. I haven't really done anything new with them unless you count Las Calaveras every year. Since literally we haven't done anything new with them since 15. So finally, I get a chance to really kind of go in and play around and have fun. And they've been just great partners to work with. And like when we finalized the blend of what would become Mil Diaz, it was January of 2020. And I said, this thing's so good. And I would like tell Luciano, I'm like, okay, do me a favor, just start. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but just start rolling this size and just put them away, and just having fun like that. And that's what it's been like, man. We just had a blast working together when Mil Diaz hit. You got to remember, by the way, Mil Diaz has never even seen a trade show. We haven't launched it at a trade show. It was all right. It's just all grassroots sampling, no events, no nothing. This has just all been word of mouth that brand took off. So this year it'll be the first actual trade show that Mil Diaz will be at. So it's been fun, man. And then the third release that we're coming out with, also for them has been a gas to work with too. And everything really kind of goes back to 2020 blends because after we finalized Mil Diaz, like Luciano would send me different things and I would smoke them. Some of them I got on with. Others I was like, not so much. And then I was like, okay, fuck around with this, do that, whatever. One of them became JR's 50th anniversary. I smoked that blend and I was like, God, there's something here that's really different and really good. And then I had the opportunity when they contacted me to do one of their 50th anniversary cigars. I said, I'm going to plug this in here and I'm going to do, I always wanted to do a cigar called Mother Church because of the rhyme. And it was perfect. Churchill, boom. So that came out pretty organically. Yeah. So it's just been fun, man. It's just, we've had a really good time working with them. It's also kind of, now that we're distributing their products too, which by the way are excellent cigars.
Yeah, they are.
Right. They really, really are. We're trying to get them a little bit into the spotlight as well and really kind of shine a light on those guys because they're doing some great things on their own from Ace Prime. Like, I don't know if you guys had a chance to smoke the Dreamer, the Luciano the Dreamer, fucking amazing cigar, beautiful presentation. Just like I would put it up there with the best Lanceros I've ever smoked. And I'm not even a Lancero guy. They do some excellent stuff.
I had it several months back. I want to say it was at B&G Cigar Lounge. Shout out.
No free shout outs.
No free shot. That is $320 advertised.
Right.
I had the Dreamer, and it came in a really pretty box, if I can remember correctly. Yeah. Really good cigar. Really good cigar. I'll tell you what, Corey, do you remember I forget what the green one's called. I'm so bad with names. The Pichardo green labeled one. That one.
The Maduro. Was it box pressed?
It says the Maduro, the Sumatra, and what's the other one? There's three.
Sumatra has the light blue band.
That's the blue. What's the red one? I forget. Is that a Habano?
Classico, I think it's no, it's not the Classico. It's the Habano. Yeah.
Okay.
The green, the Maduro.
Yeah, green Maduro.
Love that one.
I've had all of them, and I like it. It was probably a year ago that I smoked them. It's like, I don't remember anything about them. I know they were good. I
Right.
just don't remember much about
The
them.
green one I grab occasionally. I like that one a lot.
I'm trying to, you know, that's the other half of like our trade show coming up is like, we got to focus on our stuff, but then our guys are also responsible for their stuff. So now we've got to, how do we bring it all in together? Right. So now it's like, we're responsible for them as well. And trying to get them up the hill. So
it's talking about like
challenging.
Sharing a booth or something? Or
we are sharing a booth. We have,
makes sense.
Yeah. So like in Vegas, it'll be 1,000 square foot booth. So it's like 20 by 50. So 25 by, you know, whatever, to do the math. Half of it will be crown heads. The other half will be Ace Prime, very symmetrical layout. Nothing fancy or elaborate, but it's going to get the job done. And, you know, cigars speak for themselves, I think. So we're coming
for sure
on both sides of the fence. We're coming pretty hard with some good stuff. You know, they got a new brand coming out that I've been smoking pretty regularly. It's a Sumatra, but it's so good. It's so good. Really, I mean, I have a lot of high expectations. So
yeah, that's awesome. You guys were able to take that on and help elevate their brand. That's pretty cool. I like those kinds of partnerships are nice to see. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're both kind of coming up together, and so we're going to help them out a little bit. And their first real trade show was 2019.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
This is only their second trade show, so we're trying to, you know, kind of manage both sides of it, and which can be challenging at times, because we've been doing it for a while. So we kind of know the ins and outs. And so I'm like, you know, okay, guys, this is what I need from you. And it's kind of harder to, come on, let's go, you know, that kind of a thing. But yeah, it's exciting, man. It's a great partnership. And, you know, it's enabled us to do some really fun stuff. So
yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right. So in anticipation for PCA, has there been any information as far as, I think one of the things that everybody's thinking about, but I would assume just given the fact that we were talking about it earlier, it's like one day things shut off, light switch, everything turns back on. Attendance for PCA, do you suspect that based upon, and I'm not sure if PCA has shared any of this maybe pre-survey information, what's it going to be like?
Zero. I have zero pre-information. And honestly, like, even if they disseminated some of that information, I'd kind of take it with a grain of salt, because you don't 100%. Really,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just,
there's a high level of accuracy. What are they certain? Yeah.
Even after the show, you kind of go, really?
Yeah.
I just, the way I approach these things, I just keep my blinders on, you know, and if 500 accounts show up, great.
Maximize through the 500.
250 show up, great. You know, we're going to do the same thing, whether it's for a room of 10 people or 1,000 people. It's going to do the same freaking thing. So I don't really worry about the attendance, man. I see, like, you know, like HalfWheel seems to like shine a light on everything that's the negative, very half empty glass over there. Like, instead of here's all the companies that are going, it's always the article is the slant. Here's all the companies that are not going, and so-and-so just dropped out, and so-and-so's not going. Well, is that really good for the industry? Probably not overall, right? But if you keep painting it with a negative brush, fuck, man.
They TMZ'd that shit.
Constantly, man. It's just, you know, it's tiresome. It's like, don't focus on who's not coming, focus on who is going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
yeah, I get it. Like, the way I look at it, and the way what I told our team was, like, obviously the big four are not going to be there. General, Altadis, Drew Estate, Davidoff, right? And then even in the guys that are going, apparently a lot of them are not bringing any new products to the show because for whatever reasons. So, you know, the competition field is narrower.
For sure.
And narrower. So if we bring a decent product to the show, and
you're going to be the highlight.
Well, one of probably, but you know. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that the retailers come out. I kind of think that people are pretty sick of being locked up in there.
Very much so.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to get out and start living life again. So that's kind of our mindset.
Man. Like, it's weird because every year and of course this year when it was announced, like, hey, this is really happening, I got a flurry of freaking messages from people like, hey, you and your brother are going to be at PCA this year. And what I always tell them is the same thing. It's like, where this is like, you know, a prime time event for folks in the cigar industry, this same moment in time is the prime time event for my job. So like for me to do both is nearly impossible. So I was like, as much as I would, it's like, if for whatever reason PCA was like in the fall or spring or winter time, it's like no brainer.
Right.
The fact that it's like smattered right in the middle of summer,
I know.
It's very
plus like, what's even the social etiquette? Are you allowed to hug?
Yeah, you can hug now for sure. Yeah, you can hug. Hugs are fine.
Handshaking?
Yeah, you can handshake too.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have no problem with it. I got vaccinated.
That's why I'm the same way. I'm
scared.
like, I hugged a friend today when we went out. Like I have no, and also too is like the whole, which I think in Tennessee was one of the first places where the mask mandate was lifted. And I only know that just because my wife's best friend, she's actually driving there right now. She's driving to your area. Her best friend lives there, and this was like a month ago. She's like, no mask, it feels weird. And for us, it was like a week ago, so it was like,
well, even we went out to dinner last night, and we went in this restaurant, and like there were still people with masks on, and I'm like, why are they still wearing masks? There's no mask mandate, so you still see that. I don't know if it's a political statement,
I don't know,
or what it is now at this point, but I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. I'm like, okay, come on.
I still do it out of courtessy, weirdly enough. And I don't
mask.
Yeah.
Did you get a vaccine?
No.
Oh, well then you should probably have a mask, but I'm just, but no, it's just kind of like, man, I don't know. Like, when like I call a business or something, I get that automated voicemail due to the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. The wait time is longer than usual. I'm like, wait a second, there is no COVID ongoing. It's you read the news. It's in our rear view mirror. Let's fucking man up and start giving some more customer service again. It's like, fuck.
No, I heard that going into a local grocery store last week, and we had I think it was on the 2nd is when we technically lifted it. And I think, so it was later in the week last week, because I had just gotten back from fishing. So it would have been like Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking through this grocery store, and it was just one of those overhead announcements. And it was about COVID-19 procedures, wearing your mask unless you're a small child, blah, blah, blah. And I go, hey guys, it's a little outdated.
I know.
Like at a minimum, turn it off. Like you don't have to have another message. Just turn this message off. It doesn't make sense anymore.
My first sense of reality was like in beginning of March. We flew down to Florida for my daughter's spring break. She's 5, but she has a spring break. Imagine. So we're on there with like, my wife bought like these like double masks for everybody, where it's like all like kind of like this. As soon as we got into Florida, we rented the car. We drove down to where we were staying. And as soon as we got out of the car, we were going to go get something to eat. And like, there were no masks.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt so weird, because I'm like, are we okay to do this?
Like Florida's like, we don't give a fuck.
And God bless them, man, because you know what? I ditched them. No, nobody got sick. Everybody was good. We had a great time. Didn't have to wear a mask. And it was, I think they were, they knew something we didn't or something.
I always felt the same way. I was like, what the fuck does Florida and Texas know that we don't know?
So many theories at the beginning when it was coronavirus, where it was like, you know what? We're pretty convinced that the hot weather does kill coronavirus. And Florida's like, fuck, we're good.
The one thing I'm convinced of is that the CDC and any of those guys didn't know. They still don't know what the fuck. They don't have no clue, because they flip-flop so many times. Like, don't wear a mask, wear a mask. Don't wear a mask, wear 2 masks. It's like, do you fucking even know what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I always told people. Is like, they hear things in the media, and it's like do's, don'ts. And I'm like, hey, if you just want to understand how back and forth this thing is, look at the CDC release statements.
Yeah.
That shows you, that is literally the scientific element of all of this, is literally telling us, is it? Nope, it's not this. Oh, it's this thing. Nope, it's not this thing.
Here's the fun fact is they're funded, I think, some ludicrous amount of money from our federal government. Like the CDC gets like $11 billion a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then we get into this shit, and like, you can't do a better job than that.
They go like this.
What are you doing with the fucking money? What are you doing with $11 billion that you don't know how to handle a pandemic or fucking, you know what I mean? If we didn't get this vaccine, then who knows where we'd still be, right? I mean, this vaccine kind of was a game changer.
At least from if nothing else, obviously, yes, it's a game changer, but I think just the comfort and confidence that it instills as well. Because I have people I work with that are in Canada, and they're like, where we have a large portion of our population, maybe not large enough, they're less than 5%. And they're like, we wish we had what was available in the United States right now, because this is what we're still dealing with. And I'm like, God, we're in a much better position and I'm like, God, thank God we're at this point now in this, when other countries are so far behind us still.
100%.
It's wild.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to PCA. I mean, that's always like, since I don't really travel, even on non-pandemic years, I don't really travel much except for like, the TAA,
Hawaii, or
Hawaii. You had to rub that one in, didn't you?
Yeah, what's going on? So I was going to ask you. So I was intentionally asking, also with the realization that I may be rubbing it in. I'm assuming this year off the table,
No, it's actually quite literally on the table. I'm looking at the buck slip. Right
now. Shit! Here we go. So, do you plan on releasing
table, so.
And traveling there this year? Then
definitely releasing, and hopefully traveling. Yeah, I mean, so Hawaii has a lot more restrictions than most states.
Yeah.
So I've talked to Marvin off and on throughout all of this. He's the promoter that we do this for, Our Field Wine, and his latest thing was like, "Hey man, I'm looking at September. Can we make this happen like in September?" And he says, "I'm going to take the cigar regardless. If you and your family want to come out, and we can try to do an event." I'm like, 100%. Fuck yeah. So, whereas we would normally charge tickets for 120 people max, he's going to like up the price of the ticket and maybe just do like an intimate dinner for 25 people because that will fit in their current COVID restrictions.
Dude.
So, yeah.
Put it on the beach, pig roast.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. Full hog roast.
Mm-hmm.
You could do that. I've actually seen that there. It's very strange.
But there's nowhere to set up product tables. That's the thing. This event isn't. You talk about selling something out, man. That's the thing about Hawaii, that if you go out there, people will support you. They're so good, those people. I love people in Hawaii. It's just the culture, the people, they're just great. I mean, in a typical, I don't know what a typical in-store event here yields in terms of sales, but I'm thinking like you have a pretty good event if you do like 5, 6, 7, 8 grand in sales at the register. I mean, within 3 hours in Hawaii, we do north of 30.
Woo!
And it's just everybody comes out and they line up and they don't buy like me a 5-pack into this, and they like, okay, I need 3 boxes of that, 2 boxes of that, give me 5 of the Ponyo, you know what I mean? And they support. And I've developed some really good friendships over the years, dudes in Hawaii, and they've just been so welcoming and so warm to my family. They always bring me gifts from my wife and my daughter, and they're just wonderful people. So yeah, if I have the opportunity to go out there, 100%, I'm going to go out there and do it for sure. So that's definitely on the table. So
you need someone to tag along with you.
Yeah, man.
I remember last year when you texted, or it was not last year, it would have been the year before. We were like, oh yeah, just sold out the Pignolo in like no time. And I forget what I asked, what the count
was. The first day.
Like 20,000 or something like that. Am I crazy?
First day it was gone.
I mean, it was like in no time you had sold out of it. And I remember
Paniolo.
Yeah. And it's done. It's out. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I know. It's a little crazy. It's nuts. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Everything's a crystal ball thing, but so Paniolo is still in the works. What else? There's probably another LE drop for Mil Diaz after the trade show sometime. Sweet. But I mean, right now it's like we really got to focus. When you get a new brand out there officially, we really have to start spending time on developing that brand, getting it out there, getting it trial and people to dig it, whatever. Yeah. So that's our main focus right now. But I do have a few bells and whistles left.
That's true. How to properly time your releases so they don't.
It's like a juggling act, bro. Yeah, I'm telling you, like if you look at our calendar year, we're in June. We're not even full 6 months into the year, and I've already dropped 6 LEs plus regular production stuff. So
crazy.
It's not easy to do. Our business model is not like a lot of others. I mean, you get Steve Saka and he'll be like, yeah, I'd like to do that, but so many people love me and my cigars that I can't even keep up with production on
I saw his message to everybody.
Wait, of what? Like the Sober Mesa or what?
No, I want to say this because I have a strong opinion on it. So he wrote this long ass fucking dissertation on social media as far as
Facebook.
Why it was, I saw it on Instagram, but I think the message was mimicked across all social media platforms.
And it became a meme.
Yeah. He basically was like how, like I spend all my time doing this, which is why I'm remiss from social media and the whole marketing side of it and so on and so forth. And hit the, the appreciation for the things that he does and he's good at, which isn't a focused area and effort in this particular thing. And I literally went, wah, like, come on, dude, seriously. Like,
no, I'm poking fun at him, but I like Steve a lot.
I am
Steve's
too.
A great dude. I have a lot of respect for him. But yeah, I did see him on some recent interview from TPE, and he's just like, I can't keep up with the demand for my stuff as it is, and why should I release something new when I can't even keep up with the regular production stuff? I'm so good at what I do.
Sober Mesa's not allowing me any sleep.
But whatever, I mean, good on him. You know, it's like he's got a lot of the social media guys that lined up to give him a blowjob. It's like,
you guys keep asking for it.
Yeah, I hate. Is the classic is like, I hate doing interviews and social media, but they ask me to do something and say something, and then he'll rant for like 30 minutes and be like, "Oh yeah, I got more." You know what I mean? It's just like,
you know what,
dude, really?
That person, yeah.
This is so great, and everything I do, for the most part, is very intentional and methodical.
What?
I have to say that.
What? Now you got to say it.
So I know how much he will complain. Well, it's not even complain, but there's certain things he'll say in terms of like not focusing his attention on this, or interviews are just kind of like, I guess if I have to.
Yeah.
That fucker has asked me more than 5 times, when are you going to have me on your podcast? And I've still not had him on the podcast.
That's funny. That's it in a nutshell. But I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and bash Steve, because
I'm not either.
I want to say something good about the guy, because I remember, true story. I remember Steve Saka back when he had a blog. There was no social media, and it was called Cigar Nexus, right? And when I was first getting into cigars, this was like 95, 6, around there, something like that. I used to read Steve's blog, and he was like one of these guys that everybody like respected and admired, and he was obviously astute on tobacco. And then he went to work for Lou Rothman at JR, and he was writing there. And so one trade show, I think it was 2001, something like that, I remember going to the trade show, and that's the year that One Off was launched. A guy named Andrea Molinari, very eccentric dude, but he had the buzz on this cigar was enormous. And I remember Steve coming up to me and saying, "Hey, do you know this Andrea Molinari guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just met him. He's crazy, but you're going to love him." He's like, "Then take me over there." So I went over there with Steve, because now Steve's not with a brand or anything. He's just like journalist, blogger guy, right? And I remember, I'll never forget, he asked Molinari for one of these cigars, and in front of me, he starts just fucking mauling this thing, taking it apart. And I'm like, he's butchering this guy's sample, I thought he was going to smoke it or whatever. He takes it apart, and he starts taking the different tobacco leaves and eating them. And I'm like, I'm like sitting there, because I'd only been in the business for a couple of 2-3 years or whatever it was. And he starts calling out different tobaccos. He's like, "So your Ligero's from Esteli, and you've got a little bit of Jalapa in here too, the Viso Jalapa." And Molinari just looking at him going, yeah. And I looked at Steve, I said, "Dude, how the fuck?" I was like, "Really?" He was like, "You don't do that with your cigars at CAO?" And I'm like, "No, I've never eaten one of them." You know what I mean?
I don't buy it.
This is a true story, dude. Hand to God.
Shit.
And he nailed it. He goes, "Really?" He goes, "You have to do this, because this is the only way you really get the essence of the tobacco and how you really understand the flavor profiles."
Yeah, he seems like a very eclectic person when it comes to
He is, but dude is incredibly
knowledgeable. Your story is genuine.
It is.
Believe every word you're saying of this story.
I was there. I'll go take a line.
But I will tell you this. It's starting to sound a bit like Miss Cleo. Now, Miss Cleo was known as the person that could kind of know intimate details about your life, past dead loved ones, had an intuition and mind to tap into the paranormal.
She was the tarot card reader,
right?
Right.
Until they found out she was a sham, where she was having people basically pull private information and data on those people before they called in.
Oh, she got in trouble for all that?
I never saw that, but okay.
So what I'm saying is, Steve Saka, I'm sure, took apart that cigar, started eating little bits. Oh yeah, Ligero from Esteli.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe
he probably saw a little cheat sheet of a recipe somewhere in the goddamn factory and pulled it, looked at it.
Oh, it's got a little of this in it.
I've literally told that story so many times over the last 20 years. I've never really thought about that, but I'm like,
I'm telling you, I call bullshit.
I don't call bullshit, because that guy is, so I'm John, I'm with you. Like, I love to give him shit, but also at the same time, I respect him to the high.
Yeah, he's cool.
I did too. I'll tell you, truth be told, in our industry, Steve's a very divisive figure. Like, people either love him or do not. There's no gray area with Steve. I'm in the Steve camp. I like Steve. I love Steve, and I have a lot of respect for him. So I like to bust his balls a little bit about how he approaches things like social media and shit like that. But, other than that, it's just ball busting. But he's He's a very, very astute guy. He's been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah,
so.
definitely done some good shit. So,
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
I want to do this because we are about time to wrap up. But what I wanted to do was
we can go over a little bit, fellas.
No, I know, but I don't want to grow up too. We're going to go over a little bit. I'm not like saying, hey, John, we're at.
I already told my wife. I said, hey, I'm talking with the boys from Ohio. So it's like, I might be a little. So
episode 200 is
now 201, right?
This is we're on chapter 2 now. That's how this works.
Okay.
I won't keep you too long, but I started this segment with Chris not too long ago, and it just kind of bled it into some of the interviews that we do. And it's we used to call it Chris questions, but they're just a series of random questions, and it's more to solicit just really candid. Not to say that you're not candid already or you're authentic. It's just things about you that people otherwise wouldn't know that may not at all be related to tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're ready.
Fire away, bro.
All right. Do you have an image in your head of something you could never forget? And what is it?
The day I got married to my wife.
Oh.
Being right on the beach and just looking at her. I remember exactly like when I saw her for the first time, and like I was like trying to keep it together. I was just like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. That's the true story. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
I thought it was going to be when Saka was eating tobacco leaves.
No, that would be something you want to forget, bro. Trust me. I've been to petting zoos and watched llamas eat shit, and it's very similar. So, yeah.
Chris, I need you to make a graphic. I need you to make a graphic.
What, Saka eating llama shit?
No. All right. Next question. Next question.
Next question.
Yeah.
What great mystery would you want solved?
How the pyramids were built.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought you were going to say something about COVID, but that's a good one.
Yeah, that's too.
So what's your theory?
That'll be on Netflix next year, and we'll figure out.
There's a lot of theories on this. Are you
pyramids? I mean, if you think about what is involved in the weight of each of those,
it doesn't make sense architecturally to have humans do it. I'm sorry.
And then the hieroglyphics, having all these little UFO guys. There's something interesting that's intriguing that I go down the rabbit hole about that.
Oh, it's so crazy. And I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. And that one, literally, I'm like, I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense.
Don't understand.
Doesn't make sense.
Kites.
All right, that's a good one. What is your favorite Oscar-winning movie?
Did it have to win an Oscar for best motion picture, or can it be like anything that? Because I'm not really up on what's won Oscar.
I'm kind of the same way. Any Oscar-winning movie.
Fuck, man. There's so many. That'd be tough. I mean, I remember as a kid, like I think it was 76. I remember Rocky, that movie, the original Rocky, really had an impact on me. Big time impact when I was a little kid. That, fucking just motivation factors there.
Do you ever remember Sylvester Stallone's, I don't know if it was, I guess it wasn't, his speech, his Oscar. I don't know if it was Oscar or Academy Award. Are they the same? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that. So his speech is hilarious because it's traditional, like Sylvester Stallone, which is it's kind of like who he plays as a character in Rocky, which is this kind of like dumb fighter. Like his speech was like the same way. It was just like, now you're just a dumb actor, not a dumb fighter.
Well, I mean, if you the backstory to that movie is brilliant.
Oh, I know.
Guys, literally, like he as an individual, he's down on his luck. He's penniless. He's broke. He basically paints the windows black and locks him into his little shitty apartment and writes the screenplay, and then he goes to fucking sell the screenplay. And like, I think the studio, I don't know if it's United Artists, whatever, they said, okay, we'll take it. We'll give you $1 million for it. Real money back, 75, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
But they said, but we want Burt Reynolds to play the lead. This is a true story.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you. I'm playing the lead, and I will, whatever. And I don't remember how he got the movie made.
So they said no.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm walking with my script. And he was still broke and still fighting for money. He ended up selling his beloved dog to a guy on the street for what little money he could because he just couldn't provide. Yeah. And then he took the script to a small studio that said, hey, we like the idea of this movie. We want to cast these people or this person for Rocky. And he's like, no, it has to be me or something. And like they ended up paying him, and they're like, well, we're not confident that we're going to be able to make a good blockbuster if you're the lead character, like no one knows you. So he took a huge pay cut, made like 30 grand, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
To have it produced because he was going to play a lead role and they were going to pay him a lot more than that. He ended up finding the guy that had his dog on the street and paid him almost he paid $15,000 to get his dog back.
Get the dog. Holy
That's
shit.
crazy. I love it. I mean, that's a great story in and of its own, you know.
It
But
is.
I mean, past that, there's so many, like, over the years, like some of the Scorsese movies. I mean, shit. Some of the, I mean,
I saw
Hell
The
yeah.
Departed again the other night, and I was like, you got it. Like, The Departed is such a
great.
good movie.
it is such
I'm
a
like,
good
these
movie.
movies are insane. Anyway,
I mean, and then Tarantino's another one too. I loved Once Upon a
God.
Time in Hollywood. I could watch that over and over.
Thank you. So that was kind of
Fucking
a
great movie,
little
dude.
bit of a divided movie in terms of like critics and audience. When I saw it, when it was over, I'm sitting in the theaters with my wife and I literally go, holy shit. That was the craziest movie I've ever
It
seen.
was great.
I loved it.
And then I go back and I look at all the detail that he had, like, because I lived in LA for a long time, and I remember like seeing different things. I'm like, that's the Bruin Theater, that's and the Mexican restaurant El Coyote that they eat in, like that night before the murder and all that stuff that really took place. And then they really did eat in El Coyote. Me and my boys used to go there all the time for cheap Mexican food. We lived like 2 blocks away from that shit.
That's so crazy.
I love that movie. Great
It's
movie.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that movie. And even like when you see kind of the craziness at the end where everything's starting to like unfold in this chaotic way, like none of it ever seemed cheesy to me. I was like, this is still absolutely fucking incredible.
It was great. I've probably watched it 3 times. So.
Oh, it's so good. All right. Yeah. So 2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
What are you unapologetic for?
I'm unapologetic. Well, first of all, you have to like be wrong about something. And what was it? What am I wrong about? I'm just kidding. No, what am I? Gosh, man, just fuck life, I guess. I don't know. It's like, I think you got one shot at it. You just fucking do it your way and don't make any, don't compromise your values. So like, for instance, when I first met my girl, it was like, she's like, yeah, she goes, we'll get married, but I don't want to live that lifestyle that you had of being on the road. And, I want to be home. I want to be together. I want to be married. And I'm like, I made no apologies. I was like, I put that at the top of the priority list and I haven't backed off on that. And I'm like, I don't care if somebody says, hey, we'll give you X amount of money to do an in-store or whatever. I'm unapologetic about it. Cause if you define your values and you have a set system, it's very easy to make decisions going forward.
And you just
don't compromise.
And you can't pay off those decisions. Like that's,
exactly.
I agree with you there. There are certain things, there's terms that I've set in my life as well, very similar to that, where it's like, this thing won't happen. There's not amount of money that you can pay me to
100%
make it happen.
100%.
I love that. All right. Last question. I think I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Has anything ever come to you in a vision or dream that you were able to execute on?
Yeah. All the time. I mean, seriously, you look at our portfolio of products, look at anything, it's just, some of these things have literally come to me when I'm asleep. And some of these things have literally come to me in the middle of the night when I wake up and I go, oh, okay. To me, like people talk about inspiration and shit like that. And it's like, I think inspiration is around everybody. It's just a matter of dumbing down your mind enough to like, let it come into you and then you channel it out. It sounds real esoteric, I know, but if you're looking for inspiration, you'll never find it. Right. When you're in a place where you're able to receive it, it happens constantly. It's just up to you to grab it and then do something with it. I think
that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. I do think it's something that is kind of always following around people. You're right. And 2 is like just the openness to be able to receive it. And I think there's a lot in terms of like, people's mindset around, I mean, there's certain characteristics of human beings that don't allow those things to occur. It's almost like getting in your own way, right? Being almost like a filter for all these things, as opposed to being, roadblock for all those things. I agree with you because I find inspiration in like a ton of things all the time. Or even like you said, like, visions for certain things. Like it's weird because I think my head is like one of those things. It's just like things are always entering and going out, right? Like I'm replacing the old stuff with new stuff, but new stuff's always coming in. Always, all the time.
Exactly. Just as a shameless plug, like the new brand that we're going to come out with was inspired sonically by listening to something and going, wow, that kind of reminds me of, you know what I mean? So it was like, cool. Then you go down the rabbit hole a little bit more and you take that little bit that you got and then something comes out of it,
If it's something sonically,
it is.
Is it called the cicada?
Oh, dude, those things are nasty.
Yeah, I had one land
Those
on me
things are
today, and
nasty,
I
dude.
literally go,
Oh.
ah! I like scream like a little girl because it's
I'm like a
beady
chick
red
with that
eyes.
shit. Yeah, they're
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
ugly, man.
Oh,
No,
they're
it's
everywhere.
it's a musical inspiration. But I mean, you could like we've done stuff that's been musically inspired
Right.
lyrically,
Sure.
right? Obviously, Jericho Hill, Four Kicks. But this will be the only other time I did something sonically, like hearing that made me was Headley Grange, and that was 2012. So
Oh, that's cool.
This is gonna be fun.
Ooh, it's brushy one string.
Yeah, if you haven't.
But you know what the sad part is that when it's all said and done, and you post show, people are going to just categorize this as the blank cigar. They're not going to like really remember that it was sonically inspired, and they're not going to take that trip with me to like really go, oh yeah, you made sense there. They're going to go, oh, it's the blank cigar. Just like
the nerds will.
Dude, just like like when Headley came out, Headley Grange, it was like they dumbed it down to like the Led Zeppelin cigar. And I'm like, no. It's about the sound of the drums that were recorded. And
had nothing to do with like the overall. Had to do.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do the Led Zeppelin cigar or the Johnny Cash cigar. People call Jericho Hill the Johnny Cash cigar. They just dumb it down to the lowest common denominator and just kind of miss all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, that's what people do, though.
What are you gonna do? I know.
Yeah, that's what people do. And you'll work within it, and it'll, you know what I mean? It'll still sell the shit out of them. So it's all good.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, I must say, my friend, I won't keep you any longer. This was fun. I'm glad.
It's always fun, man.
I really appreciate you coming on in fairly short notice on episode 200. It's always a pleasure. And hopefully maybe next time we don't wait till episode 300, because that's 2 years.
That's a long time, man.
But
you guys have had me on your show twice in 200 episodes.
Yeah.
And then like Cigar Coop is like on episode number 975. And like, I've never been asked to do a show once. It's hysterical, man. Like,
really?
Dude, no, never, not even once. It's hysterical.
That's so strange to me. I wonder if you think he doesn't like you?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I like made fun of him one time on I think it was a live. We did like this YouTube live thing with other podcasters. Mm-hmm. And I said something about Coop on there. And then he replied in a comment about me making fun of him on YouTube. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't think you'd ever see this.
I didn't think he'd watch this either, but
I had no clue. Yeah, so
man.
Maybe he'll leave a funny one on this one too and go,
maybe. I give credit to guys like that do those shows. Like even you guys, 200 I mean, that's like a lot of commitment, a lot of work, a lot of, you know what I mean? Because you got to come up with content constantly, and
drains my battery.
It is I can appreciate that 100%.
It's a lot of fun though. You know what? If it wasn't, I mean, obviously, if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. Like that's one of the things Chris and I always said. Like if it wasn't fun for us to do, we wouldn't do it. Like we're not making a living doing this. We just love doing it. Love talking to guys like you.
That's the best way to do it, man. Because then it's genuine and it's authentic. I would love to be able to do a podcast, man. I think there'd be a kick in the ass.
They're so fun to do.
I think it'd be fun. Like I got hooked on this one. It's called Bussin' with the Boys. It's on Barstool. Taylor Luan and I love those guys. And they just look like they have a good time doing it. And I'm like, well, Taylor can do it. And he's a full-time athlete. Why the fuck couldn't I do something like that? But
there's a couple of guys like that are still like heavily involved in other things that because I mean, if you don't have to produce it and you don't have to do like the initial prep work, and you could,
if you could just show up and sit and do this. 100%. I do it every week, but there's so much that people don't see, like the audio and the fucking, it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people when you talk to me, like, oh, you have a podcast and you do this, and that's really cool. It'd be really fun to do that. And I was like, it is fun, and then you got to prepare to do the work afterwards, because I'll spend my entire weekend doing nothing but producing this, and then doing all the social media for it the next week, and then we got to start all over again the week after. It's
a gig, man.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
It's fun. I love it. But it is. I do appreciate you being on, my friend.
It's been fun. Man.
Awesome talking to you.
Yeah, and, always. I wish you guys were coming out with PCA to PCA. It'd be fun.
I know it.
FaceTime me.
I keep thinking, oh, that's not a bad
idea. You can FaceTime me and I'll give you a tour of the booth and all that shit.
That'd be sweet.
Awesome. Let's do that, Chris. Let's do that. So when does the show start officially?
I think, what is it? July the 10th is the first show day. It goes 10, 11, 12.
Was that a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I don't even know.
How it is this
year? I booked the tickets in the hotel, but I don't even know. I just know that we fly out July the 8th and that we have set up on the 9th, and then the show kicks off on the 10th. And it's like 3 full days and then a half day, and then we fly home the next day. So that's all I know.
Okay.
You have to look at a calendar, but it'd be fun. You know, you can like FaceTime Matt, like Matt Booth. He'd be down for that.
I would. Oh yeah, I could FaceTime. Yeah, I would FaceTime Matt anytime.
See, if you FaceTime Matt, like he would take you in the bathroom and show you his junk. Like,
Probably.
I
you
know
what I mean? He's crazy. I love Matt. I love Matt.
Yeah, and what he wouldn't realize is that I would certainly have screen record on, so he may not want to do that.
He wouldn't care. He'd be happy to do it.
I know he wouldn't. And I'd have to blur shit out. It'd be a whole thing.
I love Matt. Matt's
he's great. He's definitely, I would say, guys in the cigar industry that we've got a chance to talk to. And, you know, there's people you talk to and it's like, I hate to say it, but it's just the reality around it. It's like, I'm not friends with everybody we interview, right? Like there's certain people that you create a connection with that you'll extend invites to long-term, that you create a friendship with, and it blossoms into something outside of the original idea. And then there's sometimes there it doesn't. Like you and Matt, and there's a couple other, I would say, key folks in the cigar industry where it's just like, no problem talking to all.
They're just good dudes.
Yes.
They're the boys.
Which
100%.
I love. And I love, you know, you don't have to always talk about cigars. You can talk about anything.
Yeah. Whatever. Exactly. And he's one of those. He's funny, man. I can't wait to see him. We talk on a fairly regularly basis. And, you know, Matt's been doing this longer than I have, to be honest with you. Like his own thing, like Room 101 came out in 2009.
Right. So,
you know, but he's had his things, but creative fucker. He's so creative.
I know, it's crazy. There's sometimes he speaks. I'm like, what? Like my brain can't cover what you're saying right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know.
I dig it.
He's out there.
Well, thank you again, my friend, and enjoy the drive home. Hopefully it's not too arduous for you and what would probably be getting close to rush hour traffic.
Yeah. Nashville traffic sucks, man.
Yeah.
There's always that guy in the gray Sonata that thinks he's some NASCAR driver. And it's like, dude, you're not. So don't drive like you are, but they do. And
yeah. It's create havoc for everybody.
Dude, it's like a video game getting home every night. You know, I'm like, serious. It's always the guy in the Sonata or something. He's just like, I'm like,
you know what?
Fuck.
I think we said this a few years when we came down and I think you talked about it as like how much just the population growth and explosion in Nashville, plus like, and then of course that elevating the traffic concerns. It's
dude, you guys were down like 4 years ago.
That was 4 years. It's so much worse now. It's fucking crazy. I call it the Vegas of the East. Like it is. It is
like Vegas. It is. It's. I mean, if you're young and you're into that scene, you couldn't think of a better city. But if you're an old geese like me with a family and stuff, it's like fuck. What a pain in the ass sometimes. You know what I mean?
I hear that from people who are who've been in the area in the suburbs for a while. We've got family members that live there and they're like, this fucking sucks. I'm like,
dude, I used to live in the heart of it. Like I was in the Gulch, which is now like little Las Vegas.
Yeah. That's where my wife's friend lives. That's where she
lives. So I was in the Gulch and there was like nobody there. It was really cool. And then we were in East Nashville for like a year. My wife and I got together and then we sold her place. We moved out to God's country, which is only like 25 miles out, but, and I don't regret that decision in the least bit. I'm like, there's no way I could live where we used to live. There's no way. Because it's just morphed into this I don't know, man. It's too many people. It's like,
it's a lot and it's not slowing down. So
dude, it's crazy. Real estate's going nuts. Everything's going nuts.
It's wild. Yeah. One time we were talking about like, oh, it'd be really cool to live in Nashville. And then I just like this explosion. This was probably a year ago. And then this explosion happened. I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Dude, people treat cities like fast food. They'll just go and they'll devour it, shit it out, and then they'll move on.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we're done with Nashville. We're going to go fuck up Savannah now. Let's go over to Savannah and like everybody move there. And
don't say Savannah because that's probably one that's going to get fucked up at some point.
But I love Savannah. We went there for our anniversary last month, actually. And I just fell in love with it there. It's great. Went out to Jekyll Island and everything. Yeah, it's so good.
I've only been there once and I was younger. Actually, I've been there twice. And I really, really enjoy that city. It's cool. Artsy,
great.
Kind of like, oh man, it's
really, but still quaint and small. Like you can manage, you know what I mean? It's not like overblown and it's like, not everybody doesn't look like a lumberjack with like a beard and a flannel shirt when it's summertime. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck. Oh man.
Seeing a lot of that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good bit of it.
That's on par. I get it. All right, man. I won't keep you.
All right, bro.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, man.
So much. Enjoy the show. If we don't talk to you beforehand, if we don't, then I'll FaceTime you while you're there and we'll get a tour.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
definitely. Right. And I'll see you before 300.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys.
Thanks, my friend.
All right. Cheers. Bye. Adios.
Hey, brother.
Hey.
That was fun, as always.
Yeah.
I love having him on. You know, it's like not even like it's not even talking to someone that's in the cigar industry.
That's
You're
true.
talking to a guy like in a more formal manner that we have conversations with ongoing anyway.
That's true.
Which is really nice. And your background, I think, was making me sick, so I stopped looking at it. I thought there for a minute that you weren't even on the podcast anymore because I was solely focused on one screen. I was
like just slightly bombing in a boat.
You know what it is? It's the
that never reaches.
It's the paddles.
Yeah.
It's the paddles flipping up was like making me sick. I was just like, what is this little twinge in the corner?
Close, gents. We'll make the ship by nightfall.
it's so distracting.
1 inch per minute.
It's so distracting. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
200, bro.
Yeah, man. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's really crazy.
Yeah. It's fucking wild.
200 episodes down. Will there be 200 more?
I don't know. Will the world be around by then?
No. You know, I don't know. Will we be around by then?
I'm getting old.
Another 200 episodes is another 40.
200 years.
Yeah. What if we did one episode per year? The yearly podcast. Wouldn't that be some shit? Dude, people are like, what the fuck?
And they're 10-minute long episodes. And people are like, why did it take so long to come out with that episode? It's like, dude, this takes a shitload of time to produce.
A lot of time. 10 minutes of material, man. That's hard to come by. Now,
I sat in export media for 20 years trying to upload it to YouTube.
Dude, that sounds like my fucking life every week. Especially when I was having those issues of the fucking video rendering correctly. I'm like, I was getting so frustrated. I'd do it like 3 times.
I bet.
And you know, you don't know when it's going to fuck up until it's already fucked up and gone through everything.
That's true.
And when you're trying to load an hour or more worth of content, even if you just do like basic rendering, it's like 8 hours. So once that 8 hours is done, you realize the video's fucked. You're like, fuck! You just get really angry and you gotta start all over. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. Anyway, there you have it, man. Episode 200. How fun, right? Such a good episode 200. I thought that was great. I really love having him on.
We tend to not celebrate, even though this should be a celebration episode, but just want to say thank you to everyone who listens. Every year there's one new listener, and it is amazing to see you 5 in here.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for you guys, we'd quit.
You know, it is kind of strange because I have a lot of people ask me how many people listen to the podcast.
Oh, I'm sure everybody wants to know.
And the truth of the matter is I don't know because there's no data to support how long someone listens to it. I can see how many times someone downloads it. I can see anybody who listens over 10 seconds of audio, and that's what's reported. You know, the number of total listeners all the way through, I don't know what that looks like, but to me, like, my appreciation is not in the number. My appreciation is more in the interaction. Like, if somebody comes back to us after an episode and it's like, oh, your bit about this was really funny, or your take on this was hilarious, or I totally agree with what you said here, or Chris singing, a Sister Act song was fucking hysterical. Like, those types of things I love more than just like looking at a number, what it's represented like on a sheet that I can export for whatever fucking reason. Right. It's like, that's really cool when people associate what we do on the podcast with, interaction back and forth. That's always the funnest thing for me. So, in my appreciation for people listening is all around the interaction.
Yeah, for sure.
Which has been really, really, really fucking cool.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking wild.
Yep.
I will follow him.
Follow him.
Follow him wherever he may go. There is... Wait, where the fuck am I?
Chris, what happened? That was fantastic. That was really great. What a fucking way to end it. All right, let's wrap this up. That was awesome. What a fucking way to end it. Boom. There's your 200. Fantastic. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Milestone episode 200.
200.
We'll be back at you next week with episode 201. See you, everyone.